Human remains were found, scattered throughout southwestern Florida. In March of 2007, a surveyor followed a dirt road down to a brush-covered area, a few miles from downtown Fort Myers, Florida. He was supposed to check out the area to assess its suitability for possible development, but those plans were derailed when he stumbled upon a grisly discovery: skeletal remains that looked distinctly human. After the surveyor reported his findings, local authorities searched the area and found a total of 8 skeletons scattered throughout a 200-yard radius. At first, detectives floated the theory that the remains were dumped there by a shady, nearby crematorium, or even that they came from an old cemetery. However, as they collected evidence about the placement of the bodies and noted the lack of clothing or personal items, the investigation began to take a darker turn. All eyes were on Fort Myers as the case unfolded. Even John Douglas, a former FBI agent, famous for pioneering the field of criminal profiling, weighed in. To find 8 bodies in one place, that's really bizarre, he told NBC News, adding that the circumstances led him to believe the remote area was a serial murderer graveyard. At the mention of a serial killer, local attention swiftly turned to Daniel Conahan, a man already on death row. In 1999, Conahan was convicted of first-degree premeditated murder and kidnapping. By that point, he was also suspected of committing what came to be known as the Hog Trail Murders, named for the wooded areas where the bodies of the victims were found. Hello, viewers. Today's story is one of the most disturbing cases you'll ever hear, the twisted and chilling tale of the Hog Trail Murders. So, without wasting another moment, let's dive straight into it. Daniel Conahan was born in Charlotte, North Carolina in 1954 and was raised in Punta Gorda, Florida. As a teenager, Conahan realized he was gay, a fact that deeply displeased his parents, who sent him to several psychiatrists. A loner in high school, Conahan enlisted in the Navy 4 years after he graduated, but it was a short-lived career. In 1978, he was accused of solicitation after attempting to lure fellow soldiers to a motel off base. Conahan was turned in and threatened with a court-martial. But nothing came of the case when the district attorney couldn't find anyone willing to testify against him. A few months later, Conahan made a sexual advance on another soldier, which resulted in a brawl. With a reputation as a troublemaker, the Navy discharged him. Conahan stayed in Chicago for the next 15 years, before moving back to his hometown of Punta Gorda in 1993 to live with his elderly parents. In 1995, he became a licensed practical nurse, having graduated at the top of his class from E.C. Charlotte Vocational Technical Center. Not long after Conahan's return to Florida, mutilated male corpses began to turn up. The first was found in Punta Gorda in 1994. The man's genitals had been removed, and there was evidence of rope burns. He was never identified. Daniel Conahan has his day in court. Conahan waived his right to a jury trial, allegedly because he feared that a jury of conservative Floridians would be biased against him as a gay man. His bench trial commenced in August of 1999. The star witness in the trial was Stanley Burden. Though Conahan's lawyer attacked Burden's credibility, coincidentally, he himself was a convicted pedophile. The evidence was damning. After just 25 minutes of deliberation, Judge William Blackwell found Conahan guilty of first-degree premeditated murder and kidnapping. He was sentenced to death. Recent developments in the case. Daniel Conahan is currently housed at Union Correctional Institution in Rayford, Florida. He may be locked away, but the Hog Trail Murders still haunt southwestern Florida, especially since clues from the past keep turning up. Several more bodies matching Conahan's distinctive pattern of attack have been found since his incarceration, 1 in 2000, 2 in 2001, and 1 in 2002. Then, in 2007, Floridians were rocked by the discovery of the mass burial site in Fort Myers. Stanley Burden had been attacked within a mile of that location. The timeline of the victims' deaths, the location of their bodies, and the manner of death led police to believe that Conahan was responsible. bringing his suspected number of victims up to 19. Today, several of the bodies linked to the case of the Hog Trail murders remain unidentified. In February of 2020, the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office released a new rendering of the first known victim, a man who was found in early 1994. The updated rendering of what he would have looked like when he was alive was created with the help of Palm Beach County's Forensic Imaging Unit and new technology. Conahan may be behind bars already, but authorities hope they can identify this victim and put the decades-old cold case to rest. The Hog Trail murders remain one of the most haunting and mysterious cases in Florida's criminal history. Though Conahan sits on death row, the full extent of his depravity still lingers in the shadows. With each new discovery, with each new victim linked to his dark past, the question remains, how many more lives did he take before he was stopped? The survivors live with scars that will never heal, while the families of the unknown victims cling to a sliver of hope that one day their loved ones' names will be known. The truth, though buried for now, may one day emerge from the darkness, but only time will tell if justice has truly been served. Viewers, this was the disturbing story of the Hog Trail murders, a tale of darkness, horror, and unanswered questions. As the victims' names remain unknown, we are reminded of the fragile line between life and death, and the monsters that walk among us. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the most chilling stories are the ones that are still unfolding. What do you think about this chilling story? Share your thoughts in the comment box below, and let us know how you feel about this gruesome act. Thanks for watching. If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling, true crime stories. And remember, if you or anyone you know is battling dark thoughts, don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health professional. The weight of these stories, they can take a toll. So please, take care of yourself. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I'll meet you in a new, interesting video.